Hello everyone, and welcome to Summer Learning 2021 at Union County Library. This year our theme is Tales and Tales, and in that spirit we want you to explore the nature that is right outside your door, right at your feet, and right above your head. We will be releasing 3 videos to help you explore the animal life in your community. One on birds, one on amphibians, and one on insects. We hope you'll use these videos and the tools we suggest in them to find your nature in your community. To participate in this program, simply stop by any library location to pick up one of our brochures. In the brochure, you'll find an explanation of how to participate in the program, as well as a QR code that you can scan to get to the library's YouTube channel, where you can watch all the videos we will be releasing. On the inside, you'll find a list of the resources that you can use to help you in your search for animals in your community. Once you start your search, make a note on the animals you find on the tear-off slip and turn the completed slip in to any library location for a chance to win a prize. This program is a partnership with the biology department at Wingate University, so let's check in with them and see what they have to say about finding animals in your community.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Barrios. I am a biology instructor here at Wingate University in Union County. In addition to being a biology instructor, I'm also an ornithologist, which means that I specialize in studying birds. I got my biology bachelor's degree at Wingate University, and then I went on and did my master's degree in biology at App State with a focus in animal behavior, looking at whether eastern bluebirds played favorites with their offspring. I'm here to teach you just a little bit about how to get out and actually observe birds in your own backyards, homes, without really needing to travel very far. Birds are one of the easiest types of animals to actually study and observe, because all you really need are your eyes, your ears, and if you really want to, a pair of binoculars. One of my favorite ways to observe birds is just to get out in the neighborhood and take a walk. Sometimes using my binoculars. You can see so many different types of birds in the different habitats around your homes. Look for places that are wooded or open fields or even bodies of water, and you'll be sure to find a bunch of different species that are local to our area. Another way to observe birds is to set up some bird feeders. This setup is being visited by a pair of northern cardinals, which are the state bird of North Carolina. Even without feeders in your yard, it's still possible to observe birds, like this robin sitting on a yard fence. But one of my absolute favorite ways to observe birds is just by listening. What you just heard was a few blue jays calling to one another from the trees. Sometimes, instead of finding the actual bird, you can find evidence that the bird was there, like this feather from a barred owl. So once you guys have gotten a good grasp on how to actually find the birds around your homes, one of the coolest aspects about birding is the ability to identify the type of bird that you're looking for. My favorite resources for doing this are known as field guides. So the Union County Public Library actually has these 2 books in the circulation, and you can take them out of the library. My 2 favorites are the Sibley Birds East, which is the Sibley Field Guide to Birds of the Eastern North America, and then the Peterson Field Guide to Birds of the Eastern and Central America are some of my favorite field guides and have great pictures and information about how to go about observing and identifying the birds that you're seeing around you. Some of the most common types of birds that you might observe are known as passerines or songbirds. For example, here is a towhee in the woods. Another of my favorites is an eastern bluebird, which can be found out in open fields. One type of bird that's very common to our area are mockingbirds. This one is hopping along the ground searching for food to feed to a pair of young fledglings. If you watch closely, you'll see that little fledgling on the ground with her. Another bird you might observe foraging for food on the ground are starlings. Here's a pair picking at some seeds that have fallen from feeders. These type of birds have a very pretty iridescent plumage, or feathers. That means that they look different colors in different light. This is a mating pair of house finches. They are nesting nearby. One of the things that you can observe from a lot of songbirds is that often when there are males and females that are different colors, the male is the brighter colored individual. Similar to the cardinals, house finches, males are bright red while females are more brown. In addition to songbirds, you might observe raptors, such as this red-tailed hawk, or this raven, which is a member of the Corvidae family. He's taking a bath in a backyard pond. Spring and summer are my favorite times of the year to observe birds, because you can observe a bunch of different behaviors. For example, foraging. This cardinal is looking for food. Remember, I mentioned earlier that cardinals are dichromatic, meaning that the males are red while the females are brown. This is a female cardinal. You might also be able to observe some nest building behavior, like this mockingbird who's gathering materials to start building a nest. The mockingbird visits different bushes and trees looking for twigs and leaves to add to the nest. This female house finch has already finished nest building and is visiting her nest to either get ready to lay her eggs or possibly incubate. And once the babies hatch, they are known as nestlings. Nestlings will spend some time in the nest if they are what are called altricial babies. These are the offspring of songbirds. Precocial offspring are those that hatch ready to greet the world. Songbird babies have to grow up from nestling to fledgling stage. Once they're fledglings, they're kind of like teenagers. They can leave the nest, hop around, explore, fly a little bit, but they still kind of rely on their moms and dads to take care of them. These two are begging their parents for food while still being able to forage on their own. Warm them. In addition to food, fledglings rely on their parents for defense and protection from predators. These two stick close together and always within sight of their parent. Birds are fierce protectors of their nests and their offspring. Here you can see a pair of crows chasing off a red-tailed hawk that got too close to their nest. There's no such thing as being too young to go birding. One of my favorite activities to do in the spring and summer is go birding with my 3-year-old daughter. No, but look at the bluebird. On the telephone wire. I hope you'll take some time to explore the birds around you as a family. You all learned a thing or two, and I hope you guys have a great time getting out and exploring, finding the different species of birds all around us. Happy birding, guys.
Are you looking to start bird watching with your family? Then good news! Union County Library is starting a new club for families and kids to jump into bird watching. Register through the library's website.
We hope you enjoyed that introduction to bird watching. Remember that birds are everywhere. Sometimes you just need to stand still for a moment and wait for them to come by. Also remember that the library is full of resources to help you identify the birds you see. Just stop by and ask one of our staff members to see the field guides, and we'll bring you right to them. And we don't just have field guides. Our collection is full of books on the biology of birds and stories of bird watching. Listen to this excerpt from The Genius of Birds by Jennifer Ackerman, and if you like it, come by and check it out. We hope you enjoy Summer Learning 2021, and we hope we were able to help you find your nature. For a long time, the knock on birds was that they're stupid, beady-eyed and nut-brained, reptiles with wings, pigeon-heads, turkeys. They fly into windows, peck at their reflections, buzz into power lines, blunder into extinction. Our language reflects our disrespect. Something worthless or unappealing is for the birds. An ineffectual politician is a lame duck. To lay an egg is to flub a performance. To be henpecked is to be harassed with persistent nagging. Eating crow is eating humble pie. The expression bird brain for stupid, foolish, or scatterbrained persons entered the English language in the early 1920s because people thought of birds as mere flying, pecking automatons, with brains so small they had no capacity for thought at all. That view is gone goose. In the past 2 decades or so, from fields and laboratories around the world have flowed examples of bird species capable of mental feats comparable to those found in primates. There's a kind of bird that creates colorful designs out of berries, bits of glass, and blossoms to attract females, and another kind that hides up to 33,000 seeds scattered over dozens of square miles and remembers where it puts them months later. There's a species that solves a classic puzzle at nearly the same pace as a 5-year-old child, and one that's an expert at picking locks. There are birds that can count and do simple math, make their own tools, move to the beat of music, comprehend basic principles of physics, remember the past, and plan for the future. In the past, other animals have gotten all the publicity for their near-human cleverness. Chimps make sticks to hunt smaller primates, and dolphins communicate in a complex system of whistles and clicks. Great apes console one another, and elephants mourn the loss of their own. Now birds have joined the party. A flood of new research has overturned the old views, and people are finally starting to accept that birds are far more intelligent than we ever imagined, in some ways closer to our primate relatives than to their own reptilian ones. Bird brain. The slur came from the belief that birds had brains so diminutive that they had to be devoted only to instinctual behavior. The avian brain had no cortex like our own, where all the smart stuff happens. Birds had minimal noggins for good reason, we thought, to allow for airborne ways, to defy gravity, to hover, arabesque, dive, soar for days on end, migrate thousands of miles, and maneuver in tight spaces. For their mastery of air, it seems, birds paid a heavy cognitive penalty. A closer look has taught us otherwise. Birds do indeed have brains very different from our own, and no wonder. Humans and birds have been evolving independently for a very long time, since our last common ancestor more than 300 million years ago. But some birds, in fact, have relatively large brains for their body size, just as we do. Moreover, when it comes to brain power, size seems to matter less than the number of neurons, where they're located, and how they're connected. And some bird brains, it turns out, pack very high numbers of neurons where it counts, with densities akin to those found in primates, and links and connections much like ours. This may go a long way towards explaining why certain birds have such sophisticated cognitive abilities. Bird brains may be little, but it's plain they punch well above their weight.